What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the last part of the Love and Marriage Detroit reunion special, you guys. So this is season one, part two of Love and Marriage Detroit. Yeah. Before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor, you guys, and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Love and Marriage Detroit, shall we? All right, you guys. So I first want to start out with saying I don't understand why this reunion was a two-parter, because this season didn't really give enough for a two-part reunion. And then in part two of this reunion, I don't really know what we got from it or learned from it. I was kind of sitting here like, okay, this could have been wrapped up last week. Like this could have been one and done, because part two, I just felt like we were just dragging things out for the sake of an hour show, minus the commercials. So we pick up this episode where the last one ended, and that was with, talking about Kobe and Christina's relationship, and if they want to try to rebuild and repair that relationship. So Kobe started crying, and I was kind of confused as to why Kobe was crying. I was wondering if she was crying because of the fact that, I guess, since filming had wrapped, she and Christina hadn't talked, and I guess, that was a real friendship there. Here's the other thing that I will say about this show. I know people, they keep saying that these people Brandon and Anthony knew each other for 20 years. I don't think these people really knew each other for 20 years. I think they I think they known of each other for the last 20 years. And that's really where it is. As far as them knowing each other, this show did not feel that way because there were just a lot of things that were just off. And honestly, if we're going to be honest with you, if I'm going to be honest, I think part two of the reunion shed a little bit of light on the Thompsons, and not a good light. Not a good light at all, right? So Carlos showed the package of Brandon and Anthony. And before we get into that, I guess Kobe and Christina decided to, make amends with each other. We saw Christina get up and go on the couch with Kobe and, console her. Russell was consoling her, and then Russell and Brandon hugged Christina, and Russell hugged and all that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, I guess they cool. I don't know. Let me know, everybody who's watching on the play in the live chat or in the playback. Let me know. Do you guys think that this show deserves a second season? I feel like, for me, a second season, what would it be indicative of? I feel like if they were to get a second season, they should bring on Bravo and his wife as a main couple as well. I think that they balance things out, and it's so interesting that they didn't even bring Bravo to the reunion. They didn't even talk about the showcase. They didn't even talk about the showcase in this reunion. I just thought about that. Like, I thought about that. They didn't talk about the showcase. They didn't talk about the fact that Brandon lied to Christina when he was at the club. There were a lot of things that they did not talk about. I just really just kind of came to my head as I was doing this. But the package, they showed it of Anthony and Brandon, right? So Brandon starts listing off the artists that he's worked with. He lists off Big Sean. He listed off LaBrittany. I remember my first review that somebody had even mentioned LaBrittany. Now, I ain't trying to be shady by no means, but I didn't think that LaBrittany was that big of a star. I mean, we know her from Love and Hip Hop, but I didn't know she was a big star. But hey, it is what it is, right? And that's no shade to LaBrittany. I thought she was cool on Love and Hip Hop, but hey, it is what it is. So Anthony said when Brandon did that, Anthony was talking about he's done TED Talks. I was like, you've done a TED Talk. But at the men's movement, you couldn't even get over a dozen men there. But you've done TED Talks. I'm not going to take away from what he said, but I was calling BS on it because I was like, okay, that's what you want to say. But The men's movement didn't prove anything that you could do anything. But hey, it is what it is. And I actually agreed with Brandon when Brandon was talking about the fact that, he knows they have the money, but he doesn't know what he does for a living. I was like, exactly. I think a lot of people on social media was asking that question, like, what does he do for a living? Nothing, yeah, that's what I thought as well. So, hey, it is what it is. I just don't understand what the animosity. It feel like there's probably been some stuff that had been brewing, but Anthony once said that they do this all the time. I'm like, but y'all are supposed to be friends. I'm not gonna ever do no shady and shisty stuff like that to my friends. I just wouldn't. But maybe I'm a different person, so who knows, right? So another thing that I want to point out, I found Dr. Latoya to be very annoying in part two. I've watched Carlos's interviews with the cast, right? I watched him when did his interview after one episode with Colby. I watched him after he did his interview with Dr. Latoya, right? When he did his interview with Dr. Latoya. And both interviews, he was talking about how Dr. Latoya showed up at the reunion. Really? Did y'all cut it? Because I didn't see her show up at this reunion, and that ain't no slight, no shade to her, but she just really didn't show up. She still was the same person that we saw all season, and I still don't understand what her issue is with Christina. It still makes no sense. It literally does feel like what we've all said and what Christina said, that she jumped on the bandwagon. Now I know Kobe wanted to say that, when her and Christina had their issues, that Latoya did tell her that she was wrong. And I was like, did she tell you that you were wrong on camera? Because on camera in her interviews, it was always Christina's wrong. Christina's wrong. Christina didn't call Kobe. Christina didn't do this to Kobe. Christina. It was always what Christina did and never what Kobe did, because Kobe did get loud with Christina in that bowling alley. So I just never understood Dr. Latoya, and I still don't understand her. And then when she was talking about her degree, this is no slight, no shade, and anything to her about her degree. Congratulations to her. I applaud her and I uplift her as a Black woman, right? But you took that comment that Christina made to you very shady, but you don't think that what you said to her about, you threw your degree in her face. So you don't think you don't think that would feel a way about you throwing your degree up in her face? Like, Dr. Latoya can miss me. Latoya can miss me with the BS, because that's all it really was a bunch of crap. And Christina kept asking her multiple times, like, what is it that I have done to make you feel like I'm not a good friend to Kobe? Dr. Latoya could never answer the question, and I will say, if looking at editing, Christina wasn't really giving her the opportunity to. But you can never say what she's done to make you think that she's not a good friend. I noticed that and I peeped that. Like, that's the one thing I noticed. You can never say what she's done, because she's never done anything to you personally. Your issue is she didn't reach out to Kobe. She didn't do this to Kobe. She didn't do that to Kobe, right? But what did Kobe is here's my thing. When it comes to communication, I always tell people this: communication is a two-way street. The phones works the same way that my phone works is the same way her phone works. She can text me, she can call me. I can call her, I can text her. But then also, let's go back to what Russell said to Brandon. Russell specifically said for Christina and Brandon not to speak to his wife. So they obliged him. So Dr. Latoya, I just really wanted you to just sit there, shut up, and mind your business, right? Because it really just gives that you was just looking for a moment on the show, and I don't understand why, but hey, it is what it is. Also, I'm still stuck on this makeup that Dr. Latoya got on. I am really stuck on this makeup. This makeup is just really, really dark for her. It's just really too dark. Then I'm looking at Kobe and this hair. That is a lot of hair, but it's cute, but it's just a lot for Kobe's frame and her face. I think she would have been better with a little less bundles and maybe a shorter hairstyle. I don't know. It is what it is, right? But yeah, with Latoya, I just really think that you stuck your nose in something that had nothing to do with you ultimately. But you guys can let me know what you think about that. Also, you guys, this video is not going to be long because, like I said, part two of the reunion, it gave nothing. It could have been really summed up in episode part one of the reunion. They could have just extended that and made that an hour and 30 minutes because this gave nothing. What else? So we talked about the publicist Brittany, and I saw everybody on social media saying, "Oh, Christina's lying. Christina's lying." Did y'all see that? I don't believe Christina was lying. I do believe Christina was telling the truth the entire time. Because if you guys looked at that clip when Christina met with that publicist, Brittany specifically said that that Anthony said that they don't rock with her. And she asked him who, and he said Brandon and Christina. But then it got turned around, and when they went on that retreat, on that trip, she said no. He said they don't rock with me. He said Brandon and Christina at first, but then he changed it and said it was just Brandon. So I do believe at some point he probably did mention the Harris family. I do believe that, or either this is something that Brittany made up, because also Christina said that she had a phone conversation with the woman and she texted with the woman. And then when they met up, Brittany said, "Well, I'm clearing it up that it was just you and Brandon." And I'm so glad that Christina brought it up at this reunion that Brittany said a lot more, but they didn't show it on camera. And I was like, "Oh, what's what it is?" Brittany said more said more, but they didn't show it. What's up, Phil? How you doing today? But that was so interesting to me because I didn't like the fact that they cut scenes out because Brittany is a liar, and I'm starting to believe what Brandon says. I don't believe that Brandon. I'm really believing Brandon now, and I never thought I would say that, but I believe Brandon when Brandon says that he did not say anything negative about Brittany because Brittany in the scene that was unaired, she said that Anthony told her that he wanted to prove that Brandon was a liar. But then when they were all together on a couples trip, she said that's what she felt like he's trying to prove that Brandon is a liar. So which one is it? And like I said, I do believe that Brittany is lying, and I do believe that Anthony is lying. Anthony wants to sit up here and say he doesn't have anything to lie about, but obviously you do. Either you are lying or Brittany's lying or both of y'all are lying. And then I wish they had went deeper into this because they glossed over the fact that they glossed over it because remember, Dr. Latoya said at one point that she knows that Anthony didn't say that it was Brandon and Christina, but the footage shows that he said Brandon and Christina don't rock with her. Like Dr. Latoya is a contradiction. She doesn't like drama and mess, but you're married to the messiest person on this show. Like, please miss me with that. Something else I didn't even bring up. They didn't even talk about the fact how Anthony came at Christina's friend. This reunion was just not good. They didn't talk about a lot of things that I think they should have. Phil, you say, I believe that Brittany mentioned Kobe and Russell. I do too. I absolutely believe that she mentioned Kobe and Russell. But I think when she got back to Anthony said, "No, I don't need no beef with them." I feel like that's what it was. They did. I know at one point Anthony talked about. They asked why didn't Anthony feel some, call Brandon a snake. He couldn't even give a reason why he called Brandon a snake because it had absolutely nothing to do with him. Had absolutely nothing to do with him. You also said yes, they left that part out. How Anthony disrespected Chelsea. Exact. I didn't like that. They left that out. They didn't mention anything about Bravo. The only thing that they talked about with Bravo was the fact that he brought Marceau on. Like, who is Marceau in the grand scheme of things? Like, they left a whole lot of stuff out in this reunion. That's why I say if this was the stuff if this was the most important stuff that they could bring to air to talk about, then y'all should have just made this a one-part reunion and extended it because this reunion gave nothing. Y'all briefly talked about Anthony, I mean not Anthony, but Brandon's artist. Y'all did not talk about the fact that Brandon lied when they were at that club for talking about the showcase. Y'all didn't talk about Chelsea. Y'all didn't mention Bravo. Where was Bravo? Bravo was a friend of this season, but y'all didn't even invite Bravo to the reunion, so that we know of. Phil says, "Where was Bravo?" Oh, they could have kept Lyrique. Oh yeah, they didn't even talk about the Lyrique. Speaking, I know you. They didn't even mention the Lyrique situation. They didn't even mention that. Like this reunion was a dud. Like it really could have been done in literally an hour and 30 minutes if this was all that they were going to give us. An hour and 30 minutes tops, because everything was very surface. Because for me personally, this is my personal opinion, guys. I still don't think that the Kobe Cat comment was that significant and that deep or detrimental towards the friendship. And I know some people feel like it is, but for me personally, for JB, it's not. I wouldn't get upset about a comment like that. I find that very elementary. But again, that's JB's opinion. I can't say what everybody else feels, but that's just my personal opinion. What else happened? Like I said, nothing really happened in part two of this reunion. My notes are very short. But like I said, it was proven in part two of this reunion that Brittany, the publicist, is a liar. And I actually agree with Colby when she said she think that she wants to be on the show. I agree with that. I definitely agree that that woman probably wanted to be on this show. What else? Nothing really happened. Like I said, Dr. Latoya, I don't see it for her. I feel like she has a one-sided imaginary beef with Christina. And like I said in plenty of reviews, I couldn't believe that found myself defending Brandon and Christina, because when the show first started, I really wasn't feeling Brandon and Christina. But then as the episodes went on, I was like, it's one like these people are just jumping onto Brandon and Christina, and I just did not like it. But yeah, you guys. Oh, so they went around the room and talked about what's going on. Dr. Latoya, she's trying to get opulence down in Georgia and somewhere else. I forgot. Brandon and Christina, they are getting ready to go back to counseling, and Colby and Russell are expecting baby number two. Oh, there's something else that they talked about. So, Brandon, not Brandon, but Russell, he was a principal and he used to be in the club. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, he's a young guy, right? Because I know she would just turn 30, so they're pretty young, so it's fine. But yeah, overall, season one of Love and Marriage Detroit, that I like it? No. Would I watch it again? Absolutely not. If they come back for a season two, would I watch it and review it? That's a hard no as well. That's going to be a hard no. I think for season two, like I said, if they do get a season two, which I'm pretty sure they probably will, if they get a season two, bring on Bravo and his wife. I think that'll be a good thing to do, is bring on Bravo and his wife and maybe add some friends of to the show. Maybe. I don't know. But something definitely different has to be done if they get a season two. I feel like with season one, they were grasping at straws, because I know Carlos wants to say that these people had genuine friendships. Did they really? I think the only people who I can say had a genuine friendship outside of this show may be Christina and Kobe them, right? Because I know Christina said that she wanted them to come onto this show. But other than that, I don't know what season two would need. Phil says Carlos could have done better. He absolutely could have done better. He really could have done better as the host. Because I feel like when it comes to Carlos hosting his reunions, he typically does pretty good. He does good with Bell Collective. He does good with Love and Marriage Huntsville, except for when he's, Team Martell and Melody. But he does pretty good. And when I say Team Martell and Melody, I mean him trying to push them two back together. He typically does good with his reunions. Now, Love and Marriage DC, we don't even know. That's the other thing that's kind of getting kind of irritating a little bit. Love and Marriage DC, we still don't know when that show is coming back, and they've already filmed a reunion for stuff that we have not even saw. So when they come back, they're going to be arguing about stuff that they've already dealt with during the season and at the reunion, but then they're going to be arguing about it again once it hits the air. Own has to do a little bit better. Phil says it was the editing. Yeah, the editing was a little choppy. I did notice that. I did notice that the editing was very choppy. But yeah, as far as Love and Marriage Detroit season 2, it's gonna be a NO for me. Hey Shayna, he says this show's still on. This was part 2 of their reunion, so it is over, and we move back over to, oh my god, we move back over to Huntsville next Saturday. That is the one that I dread so much. Huntsville returns next Saturday, you guys. So Huntsville will not be live like Love and Marriage Detroit is. I have no room for that drama in my life. Huntsville will continue to stay a pre-recorded review. I refuse to have the millimeters in my live chat. I just refuse to have them. I refuse to have the millimeters. I refuse to have the people who support Martell, anybody. I don't want them in my live chat. So it'll continue to be pre-recorded. Um, Phil, are you saying you're excited about Love and Marriage Huntsville coming back? I think that's what you're saying. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's talk about it just for a quick few seconds. I'm not ecstatic about it, but I'm not like down about it returning. I think what it's gonna be for me with Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm not gonna tweet about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm not gonna watch Love and Marriage Huntsville live. I will watch the playback of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and then I'll do my reviews. And once I do those reviews, upload those bad boys and move on with my life. Because Love and Marriage Huntsville is just a different beast for me that I can't deal with. Like I feel like you can't say anything negative about any of them. Like, and let me take that back. Not negative. You can't have any critiques of them because people will come at your neck. And I'm just like, you don't know these people like that. So why do y'all come so hard at me? I am equal opportunist when I am equal with every person on that cast. I have said something, I have had some not some, favorable opinions of everybody on that cast, from Kimmy to Letitia to Melody to Martell to Maurice to Marceau to Destiny to Stormy. I've had so many opinions about each and every one of them that may not be favorable, but some people, not everybody, but some people love to pick apart when you say something about two people in particular. And Phil, I'm not talking about you because I'm about to say yo girl, but people come at me sometimes about Letitia and Melody. Those are the two people that if I say something about one, somebody gonna be, oh, but you don't say this about Letitia. Oh, you don't say this about Melody. It's like I do. I said about both of them, but y'all are using selective. I don't know if y'all have selective memory or what. That is my issue and grievances when it comes to Huntsville. But I feel like this season, I actually feel like this season I don't know. I ain't team Letitia, but I have moments where I like Letitia and I have moments where I can't stand Letitia. I have those moments with both her and Melody. There are moments where I like Letitia, but then there are moments where I don't. And I feel like depending on how this scene with her and Kiki plays out, we'll see whose side I'm on. Probably gonna be on Tisha's side, but we'll see. Shannon says the trailer looks good, but they may have us fooled. I'll talk my thoughts on the trailer. I did watch it, but you guys know how you know how they are with Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? That they'll show us so much stuff in the trailer and we'll get it in the first few episodes, but then the remainder of the season is dull. Remember, last season, it was all about the fight at Madani, right? Once we got to the Madani fight, we talked about it, and then after that, nothing happened. But I think this season we might have something, right? Because I think that the cast trip to Houston was later in the season. So I think we may have some stuff early in the season with Letitia and her family, and then we'll have the Houston trip. So hopefully we have an even amount of stuff this season, but we shall see. Yes, Phil, I know that Tisha is your boo. You go up full of Tisha. Team Tisha. I know, Phil. I know that that is your girl. Again, I don't have anything against Letitia. I say things about Letitia and I say things about Melody. I've said things about every single cast member on Huntsville, but again, people want to single it out when you just say one person and you don't mention, because I know people had so many things to say to me last season about the Melody and Stormy situation. It's like, oh my God, you guys, it's not that deep. I'm giving my opinions and my 2 cents about what I think and feel. Why are y'all getting y'all feelings? I don't know Melody. I don't know Stormy. I don't know any of these people. I've never met them. I have never been to Huntsville, Alabama a day in my life. I ain't never met them. I ain't never interacted with them on social media. But yeah, you guys, that was it for Love and Marriage. Detroit season 1 is a wrap. I know Carlos said for me he hopes for more seasons to come. I'm like, good luck with that. And if they do come back for a second season, congratulations. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the overall season in the comments section below. You guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. I'm about to get off of here. I got to go and watch Power real quick, and that review will be up sometime later this afternoon. So yeah, you guys be safe, take care of yourselves, and wash your hands. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.